Hey there, beautiful souls. I'm Colynn.
And I'm Meredith Lockoff.
And welcome to Spiritual Sisters with Sass, the podcast where two sisters with a passion for spirituality and a touch of sass come together to explore the exciting world of self-improvement.
That's right, Colynn. We embarked on this incredible journey together, diving into different self-improvement techniques, yoga practices, and a whole array of life experiences.
Yeah, and through it all, we've managed to create lives that are abundant, happy, and constantly evolving. It's been a wild ride, hasn't it, Meredith?
You bet, sis. We've got two very different perspectives on life, but that's what makes this podcast so special. I'm all about diving in head first into life's adventures and embracing every challenge with a bit of sass. While Colynn here, she's got her own unique approach.
Yep, that's me. And I'm all about the yoga, mindfulness, and finding my zen. And together we make the perfect balance.
So whether you're looking for some wisdom, a few laughs, or just some heartfelt stories, you're in the right place. We're here to share our personal experiences and insights with you, all while exploring the wild and diverse world of self-improvement.
So grab your headphones and get ready for a fantastic journey with us. Spiritual Sisters with Sass is here to uplift, inspire, and keep it real.
Thanks for tuning in, lovely listeners. Let's dive in.
Spirit and sass. Here we go. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for our podcast, Spiritual Sisters with Sass. Last week, we talked about mindset. And so this week, how perfect that my car was stolen so that we can dive into
it. How perfect that my car was stolen.
You're welcome, everybody. So we could dive deeper into my mindset. And I think that this actually will be very beneficial because I'm feeling and experiencing some blocks on my own. And the transformation happens in sharing. So as we move through this, we can look at what are my blocks and why, after signing up for a big life-changing coaching program, would I literally get my car stolen the next week?
So that she's out $20,000 US.
Just out. That's it.
Just gone. In Costa Rica, it doesn't work the same as it does in other locations.
Yeah.
Shittily, but also the reality. So tell us what happened, Lynn. Start at the beginning. Where were you? What happened? How did the car disappear?
Okay, great. So we live in Costa Rica, or we spend a lot of time in Costa Rica, and we went to town, the San Jose, basically, and it was for a tattoo.
A beautiful tattoo.
Thank you. Well, we thought we might as well hit up a couple things. The car needed brakes, it needed an oil change, so we went a day early. We got all brand new brakes, like top of the line, had them changed.
How much did you spend?
Well, funny enough, only a couple $100. So if you've ever had your brakes changed in North America, you know that's thousands of dollars. We spent a couple hundred.
Okay.
That was kind of nice. And then we were going to spend the night at Rafa's cousin. He's like, you might as well not get an Airbnb, just come stay. So we go there, and that's another part of San Jose, basically. And we unload. He went to drop his dog off because we have our new little doggy. We didn't know if they would get along. Went to drop his dog off, said, when I get back, we'll get your car. Like everyone has kind of like compounds. We'll get your car behind the fence when I get home. So we get into his part of town. We unload the car. Rafa literally parks the car. We eat some food. And he goes back out to take the dog for a walk, and the car is gone. Literally, he comes running back, and he's like, I just parked the car. The car's not, there's another car parked in the spot where I parked the car. And I'm like, maybe he got it wrong. let me go outside and see. So I go, and it's like, it was right there. And then there's people and we're like, did you see anything? And like, no. So that's it. Like I feel violated because there's just like nothing we can do. Like we don't know who did it. We don't know how. So then how lovely. We find out that where we went to stay is currently a hot spot for car theft, and that our car is the top of the list for cars to steal right now, especially if they have any extras. And yes, we have souped up our vehicle with like aftermarket bumpers and really nice tires and so immediately, so this is what happened immediately for me. I go into, thank God we have our computers in the house. Because usually the thing you have to worry about, Merity's been to Costa Rica, robbery is the number one thing you have to worry about here. And we went to like a bakery while we were traveling around one time. Remember, we sat down and people are like, make sure your computers aren't in your car. We're like, they're not. And then these were tourists that were parking for some food, and all the people went into their car, into their luggage, and stole their phones, their computers, and their iPads. So we already know this is a thing. So we often take those things out of our vehicle because that'll be a reason someone breaks in. So that's where I went, was like, well, thank goodness we didn't have our computers in the car.
Which is good. Like, gratitude.
Right? And then thank goodness we have a dirt bike. Because
an alternative way, again, gratitude.
We're not fully lost here. And because we live in the jungle in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So that was the next piece, is like, at least we can like leave. It's a street legal dirt bike. So we can at least leave our home if we have to get groceries or anything that we might need. Though it might not look easy because groceries on a dirt bike.
We've seen.
Right? Or we need to get gas for the guy to do our yard. And we're like, how do we do that? So
yeah,
it's not easy, but at least we have the ability to not have to walk 10K to like go get a thing, and it's not easy to just call the neighbor here. And we're newer to the community as well. So we just start asking favors. Isn't that awesome? So that's kind of been the day. And then it was just stress, like, how do we get home was the next question, because Uber isn't a thing.
No.
And I mean, they do have it here, but like an Uber with a pet back to a place in the middle of the jungle, up a crazy hill.
Up the mountain.
Yeah.
Not crazy, up the mountain.
Yeah. So then it was just like, yeah, kicking into gear and like doing the things that need to be done. Because Rafa was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And I was like, we're just doing the things. We're reporting it to the cops. We're filing a report. We, looked at like the video camera that was there to see if we could see anything, which they were clearly very smart and nothing was ever seen. And that was it. Now we're just, we don't have insurance. And we live in a place where you don't really need it. And then it's a corrupt system. So often, even if you do have it, like, we would spend more on insurance than the money we would get back from insurance.
So in an example, what you had said to me was it would cost about $3,000 for the year for insurance. We would have received about $3,000 for our car that was worth $20,000. So we would have been right where we are right now if we had insurance. So when she says that, don't listen to it like, oh, you idiot, you didn't have insurance. It doesn't work like that where they are.
Right. But I mean, at the same time, sure, we didn't have insurance. Like we
would have done any good though. Like that piece is a major.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was a bummer. And then so I'm like, okay, well, what's the answer here? So this is where I'm starting to have I feel blocked. Okay. I've been in a place where I have a mentality that I need to work, I need to hustle in order to make money. And last June, you came to visit. I took off 3 months. I decided I fucking burnt. Like I couldn't even pull myself to go back because I had been hustling for 5 straight years, basically nonstop. Yes. Sometimes 20 hours a day, teacher training after coaching, after this, after that. Like now I look at my schedule, people still think I'm crazy, busy. And I used to just run 14-hour trainings on top of everything that I'm doing.
And still did coaching and still did podcast recording and still did and still did.
How
And still
did I do that? So I hit burnout and then went from like 30K a month to 3, which has been incredibly painful and uncomfortable for me. And I have a mindset where I don't want to be like admitting this. I don't want to be talking about it because, you know, what I say is true. So
Where does
what's
it sound?
happened is I've ended up gaslighting myself repeatedly. So I had a bit of a breakdown in coaching the other day. It was just like, I just want to get out of this, which is pretty common. I'm uncomfortable and I don't want to be here. So I'm aware of that. I'm a good coach. So I coach myself a lot, but I feel rather blocked. So I was looking for some assistance the other day, and then I didn't follow through because I felt like I was taking up too much time and that the person probably couldn't coach me. So there's a little bit of like.
So in that, our coach, so Lynn and I are coached in the same coaching company, but I'm coached by the owner, Nick, and Lynn's group is coached by one of his staff. And first of all, I just want to say this to you because I didn't. I have been on a support call where Nick dealt with one person for the entire call. So never feel like you're taking up too much time or space. That was one of his things that he has always said to me is if you need me, I'm here and this is what I do for you. If I need to spend my time coaching you through this entire thing, that's what I'm going to do because it's going to be what's best for you. He pours himself into us. And then when you were telling me about this morning, you were like, but it was Kelly coaching me. And tell us what you were, because I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Right. Well, I mean, it was both. That's it. Like my experience so far is Nick's been very involved. But she's young and she's a woman. And I just like, it feels very arrogant that I think a lot of people can't coach me, which actually in the evolution of our podcast has been very similar. Like I have refused to let you show up for me, but I've always showed up for you. So anytime you've tried to coach me, I've just turned it back on you immediately and been uncomfortable with being vulnerable or having anybody coach because I'm the coach.
Previously, you did. The evolution has shown that is not the case anymore.
Has shifted because you called me out on it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So now I feel like I'm in this place and then now my fucking car gets stolen and I'm just supposed to say positive. So in the call, I just am like, okay, I started asking about DMs or something because I'm never going to miss an opportunity being coached. I think that's ridiculous. I think that would be silly of me to not have my fucking hand up right off the bat. So I just put my hand up and I'm like, I'm going to ask, I don't know.
I love that because I don't do that. I do the support calls and I literally, most of them, I don't have a question unless I haven't had a chance to have a coaching call with Nick. It's the only time I really put my hand up. So
no,
I'm gonna think about this.
Yeah. So I just put my hand up and then I know the question will come. So I start talking about like a DM or something and like showing up with my non-negotiables and like, am I being impatient? And then my car goes literally broke down on a call in front of who even knows how many, like 100 people or whatever. And like I just started the program. So it's like embarrassing. I'm having emotion, like all the things I don't really share.
Not embarrassing, vulnerable. And then we feel embarrassed because we showed people ourselves.
Touche. And then, you know, so Kelly called out right away that it's okay to have a bad day, which I was not letting myself because toxic positivity, right? Yep. And then Nick got tagged in and started sharing. Now, this is what I was saying to you. And then I was like, we should just save it for the podcast. So Nick gets in, starts talking and to me, and he's talking about like personal responsibility, which you know is like a core value. I fucking teach this shit all day long. And I don't just teach it, I practice the fuck out of this shit, right? So I've already been like, why would I create this? What in me? Of course, I went to like ego of like how my bad karma and I've called this in. And then Nick brought about like, what's the story that I keep holding on to that has created this? But in the chat, I'm hearing like, boom, like these are all like, oh my gosh, insight, big deal. And it's like, dude, I fucking do this already. I've already done this like a million times. So then he's like, okay, cool. And then like mic drop, and everybody thinks that's amazing. And I'm just like, I've already been here and gaslit myself like 20 times. And then Kelly says, is there anything else? I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good.
And what would you have said there actually?
I would have said, you know what? I appreciate that. And I 100% can tell you, like, what do you want to know? I'll tell you, like, why I created this. Right. And so then, of course, I went into my own, like, now I've just been focusing on what's the story, what's the memory. And I can't even get a memory that I have that comes up. Because later in the call, he said some other things. I felt they were directed towards me. They could not have been, but they were like, like think of the problem and then be in that space. Somatic exercise. I do this all the time with my clients, right? I say, okay, feel it, let it grow. And then now what memory pops to mind and tell me about it. So I'm like,
No memory.
I'll do it. I like, there's the defeat in losing the car.
Okay, go deeper than that though. What is the feeling that's coming up? And where have you felt that feeling before? Because it's not about the car.
Fear, like a lot of fear. And it's like, why can't I drag myself out of this hole, or why can't I do anything right?
Okay.
And I have like lots of explanations for it. Like I can talk about just like growing up and then feeling like I haven't ever done anything right. Even when I do a good job, it's still like not enough, but I can't pinpoint an exact memory. Like, why would I call this it? Like, I'm just like, dude, I'm just getting out of this. Like,
maybe it's not a memory at all, because maybe it's an overall is what I just got a hit of. Maybe it's, here's our childhood, not this moment brought this in. And again, let's like, yes, word is law. It's not like you were out there going, my car is going to get stolen. Like this was a shock. But something that he said in our call on Monday, you're never out of alignment, which that one hit for me, because if you're never out of alignment, which we've talked about this. I said, I felt so out of alignment. No, I was in exact alignment. The way I was acting was showing up, and that's exactly how my life fucking showed up. I smoked pot. My business didn't do it.
He did coach on that. I didn't understand exactly, like when I said that, he said like, when good things happen, what do we say? Like, oh, I'm so in alignment, everything's amazing. And then what do we say when bad things happen? I'm out of alignment, and that's not the truth. And I didn't quite, he's like, you're never out of alignment. And I'm like, yeah, I get that. Like that the universe is providing me with an experience that is here helping me like go deeper and find like this spiritual economy, essentially.
Spiritual went down that road, because see, and this is why we do this podcast though, because you went down that road, and immediately I feel like I understood what he was saying, which is, think about this from my perspective on my life. I'm smoking marijuana like an addict. Okay. How did my life look, Lynn? It was definitely not making the money I wanted to make. I was helping people, but not helping them to the level I knew I could help them. People weren't showing up for themselves. I was very fucking much in alignment with my life, because everything I was doing was aligning in my business, even though it's not what I kept telling myself I wanted. So I wasn't in alignment with my brain or my heart, but my actions were in alignment with my life.
So, okay, what's coming up for me is, and I'm going to be super vulnerable and open and don't love it, is that, things kind of drifted down. And I am a 100% believer of always having a coach.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Okay.
When I have money, I have no problem with that. I just went through hardship, and there was you as my coach. I was using YouTube as my coach. I was using the old business owner of the business that I own as my coach, and nothing was really coming into alignment. of how I wanted them, let's just say, because clearly everything was working out the way it was. And then I saw a post and it was like, if you're a coach that tells people they need a coach and you don't have a coach, then you're completely in alignment because you're calling on people that aren't going to hire a coach because you don't have a coach. It was like, ah, fuck. That's when I was like, okay, I gotta sign up. And it's really uncomfortable because I know we all know how I'm going to sign up for that because I don't just have an extra $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
So that meant like integrity, and I immediately signed up to get a coach. Again, as always, I always do, but like it's easy. Bob Proctor, 10 grand, no problem. Oh, this 30 grand, no problem. But I don't have that right now. So if I look at it like in the car, is it like a little bit of a testing from the universe of like, okay, are you gonna like now just like drop everything because you gotta focus on getting a new car? Like, are you for real? Are you gonna stay in integrity here?
I feel a couple things have come up. So one, you said to me, things have kind of gone down. I need you to elaborate on what that means.
Well, downhill financially, I would say. But also, and also in, when I'm in and I'm flowing. So when I'm in alignment, now that I see that
Let's
as
go with
something
this flow.
different, yeah,
Yeah, it's so
that's
different.
bullshit, toxic positivity alignment. I mean, I have more clients than I can handle, right? Mondays and Wednesdays are fucking packed. And then I need to find extra days because I'm so busy, and then I'm busy and busy and busy. And so down is even in the amount of clients I'm serving, which is also not a bad thing. Like, let's remember that I'm coming out of burnout as well, which is another fucking story that I have. But even trying to get another client is like, because of the amount of energy and space that I hold for clients, it feels like a lot. So then I don't even have the energy to like sell or anything. So it's like a down, but I also don't even want to admit it. I don't want to admit it.
But you don't want to admit it because if we focus on it, which is not what you're doing by admitting it, if we focus on it, then we attract more of it. But we have to acknowledge it in order for for us to move through it. Now, something else just all of a sudden hit me. You said to me, I'm going to get real honest and vulnerable. And you started and then turned. So I understand vulnerable for you also is exposing, I'm not making very much money right now. That's a big vulnerability for you. I understand that. But I'm just going to give an example here because Lindsay, my bestie, love her to bits, going through some stuff. And I told you guys last week and in the past few weeks, she moved through some insane stuff. She's in the flow, sort of. And her big fear that's coming up with having moved through this stuff is having to move through another. Even though she knows, and she's even said to me, like, my big fear is this. She's the one who acknowledged it to me and said, like, my big fear is I love where I'm at and I'm scared for that to shift and go back into another. And I said, but you know that that's also the flow of life. We go through these experiences. So she made a commitment to herself to do something 2 days ago. She has not done the thing. And when we talk, she will tell me all these reasons, excuses, that she's continuing to do the things that she's doing. And then she said, but I'm not coming from ego. And I said, so where are you coming from then? And she said, fear. And I said, okay, and where does fear come from? She was like, fucking ego. So where, and again, yes, we need to take personal responsibility. Yes, we need to see that we're perfectly in alignment, meaning the car was stolen for a reason, but it doesn't mean it's your fault. And I feel like that's where you're trying to go, is it's my fault these things are happening. One of the biggest things for me, so this DMT, I will tell everyone in the world, changed my life because it changed my mind. One, it healed something in me that is allowing me to love myself so wholly that I'm watching all these other things really fall into place. Before I was like, I have kind of no doubt, like I know I'm going to make money, but do you hear the tone in my voice? Now, I fucking know I'm going to hit $100,000 a month and it will be just a passing phase for me. there's a very different confidence in myself and in my voice when I say it. I hear it. Also, the love I've built for myself, I don't think there has been a moment since DMT that I have truly doubted myself or not truly loved myself. Not felt enough. I know I'm enough. I know that these things are supposed to happen to me. I know that everything that is happening is literally happening for a reason. And that I'm also now seeing how I'm calling these in and how my words are aligning with the things deep, deep, deep inside of me. Before, the things deep, deep, deep inside of me, I still wasn't enough. So even though I'm telling you this is what I want, there was no way it was coming to me because the two didn't come together. So I need you to move. Okay, I saw you blink because I thought you were frozen. So I was like, uh-oh. So what's deeper? Where is this for you? Like, is this bringing fear for you? Is this bringing, obviously it's going to bring some lack, but there's more here.
Well, I mean, I keep going into like maybe this is the jump start that I need, and maybe this, and maybe that. And it's funny because then I've like moved forward to, okay, how do I get a mortgage? No, not happening. I don't meet requirements. Okay. So then I feel at a loss again of why I'm here, why I can't do anything right.
Why I'm not enough.
I mean, it all comes down to that.
For me right now, there's this thing coming up of it's taking me back to our conversations around us and our relationships, or our relationship, mine and yours. So I'm going to ask for you to be super vulnerable in this because this one's a hard one. When we talk, I talk about the fact that I'm so grateful for you for all the things you did, the mean as well, because the mean is also what turned me into who I am. I tell stories about you and Dad's Mazda and the dent in the truck where you threw that chick's head into the truck, and like people were scared of me and knew not to fuck with me because they knew that you would be right there, even in moments that we hated each other. So, how do you feel if you look back at that now? Look back at our relationship. Let's go back to high school. Let's go back to Abby Jr. How do you feel about our relationship?
It cut off. How do you feel about our
Our
relationship?
relationship, and how do you feel about how you showed up?
Right. I have a lot of, and I know these are thoughts as opposed to feelings, but like guilt. Um,
What I just heard was, why haven't you forgiven yourself yet? Especially if the other person has forgiven you. Now I have to quickly insert here. When I start to coach people, a lot of the time I feel like I step back and the universe starts downloading information that I need to say. So I go back to, why haven't you forgiven yourself? Not just here, and I'm just an example. I think this applies in a lot of your life with all of your relationships. So why haven't you forgiven yourself? And why haven't you forgiven yourself when the people that you've done it to or that you've experienced it with have already forgiven you?
I mean, what I think is like, because I haven't taken the time to like sit with it. I just stuff it away elsewhere. I actually, part of the homework was to be like, write out where I see myself in 10 years and be so clear. Like the conversation was, if you don't have a vision for your business, you don't have a future. And so that hit me because it was like, shit, yeah, I don't have a vision for my business other than to bring in 30 to 50K a month. So no wonder I hit that. And then it just kind of fizzled out because I didn't have a future. So now I'm looking more at what that means. But I wrote it down, like all the properties that I own, what my bank accounts look like. And the whole time I was feeling like, what a fucking douchebag to look at my portfolio of properties and to have like, I have 50K in this account, I have $1 million in investments, I have this, I have that, I'm bringing in this much, there's 10 to 20K in each account to like cover expenses and incidentals. And I even shared it today in my mastermind and immediately said, I'm aware that what's happening right now is I'm sharing with you. I love the clarity because I've been so unclear for so long. And at the same time, I think, what a douchebag.
So it's so interesting. I went and hung out with a friend of mine who is a millionaire, has $7, $8, $9 million in his bank account, has fancy fucking cars like a Ferrari and an R8 and these things. He owns a house on the river, like a $1 million+ house on the river. I haven't seen him in months. We've been doing our own things. I needed him. And we are close enough that we can not talk for those times. And then when we need each other, we can talk to each other. And I needed him. So I called him and said, hey, I need to see you. I need to talk to you about some things that I'm working on. And he was like, fuck yeah, come over. I miss you. So I go over and then he starts showing me, he bought the house beside him, took out the gate. So now he has a carriage house is what he's calling it. He renovated it in 2 weeks. He did it partly because what he wanted, funny, I'm talking about him, his email just showed up. His he did it so that his friends could stay with him because the $1 million+ house he has is only, I think it's a 2-bedroom. It might be a 3-bedroom, but he likes his space. So if you come to stay with him, he'd prefer you stay in like an Airbnb and then come visit. So he's showing me the new house that he's got, showing me the renos that he's done, doing all the things. He takes me into the basement. We're standing there talking, and all of a sudden he says to me, he looks at me and he says, I feel gluttonous. And my download and what I said to him was, I don't think it's gluttony you feel. I think you're realizing that you've been chasing money for so long and realizing you don't feel fulfilled after you have everything you've ever dreamed of and you still feel unfulfilled. So my question to you is, what does it look like to be fulfilled and what would fulfill you?
Right. Like what comes up is just being able to support my kids, like Sari just bought a house, Summer's having a baby. It'd be so nice to be able to like just fly them, me fly, go stay there, stay in an Airbnb, like not worry about finances, to not have a bunch.
Money once in a while, help them out with things when you know that they
Yeah.
need. And again, having those thoughts is going to lead you back to, I'm not enough.
Yeah.
Did you finish the Worthy book?
The Whirly book?
Worthy.
Oh, no, I haven't.
Okay, so what's really interesting to me is that you and my best friend started it and haven't finished it, and you guys are both on a similar path of not loving yourself enough.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, a
So,
non-negotiable 10 pages per day. I mean, I can do
but you
that.
listen. So I feel like it needs to go back to the Worthy book because I got the book as like a side effect of me buying this like thing. And then I had it on my table forever. And I was like, I don't even know why I have this book. I don't need this book. And then the book really affected me. So I do think that you both need to read the book. Because it really, really does dig into how you are enough.
Right.
And it helps you see that you're enough
Right.
exactly as you are. And it brought me to an acceptance of like, out of the billions of people on the planet, I was put in this body to experience this life. I'm enough just the fact that I was put here. You wouldn't tell a homeless person that they weren't enough and that they're not supposed to be exactly where they are. Because if they weren't supposed to be exactly where they are, they wouldn't be exactly where they are. And that's like a core belief for you and I. So you are exactly where you're supposed to be to grow from it. Now, yes, you just joined the mastermind. I joined the mastermind in February. It's not like things just immediately did that for me. It wasn't instant. I've been in the mastermind since February. It's August. 6 months later, 6 months of doing the work, 6 months of working with him, 6 months of committed to doing the things that I said I would do, 6 months of committing to myself. All of those things I'm seeing it roll. Now, I am very much going to also contribute the fact that DMT really helped me heal some things and let go. And it's taught me that whole thing that you and I in our spiritual practices and in all the events that we've ever done, one of the core things that they say is you have to really want something, but be unattached to the outcome of it.
Yes, for sure.
That was not easy for me. And yet since DMT, it's been easy for me because I have faith that the universe has my back. Even if I don't feel like I have faith in myself in the moment, which I'm going to say that hasn't been an issue since DMT either. But literally the purpose of faith over fear is just knowing that exactly what's supposed to happen is going to happen no matter what action you take. I don't think there's a, if I go down this road or if I go down this road, literally the action you take is the road you were supposed to take. So everything we're doing is exactly where we're supposed to be.
I just had like a deeper hit because for
Okay,
me, I'm
you
like,
let the emotion come with it because I saw the emotion hit your face and then you like pushed it away immediately. So let the emotion come with the hit, please.
it is really about being out of integrity.
Where?
The like I say, practice what you preach. I say take personal responsibility. I'm still more in ego clearly than like true self, because to really like let it go is exactly that. And that's not what I'm doing. Like, I'm like, well, there's nothing that we can do. I'm saying all the things, but inside I'm like, fuck, dude. But like, why? Like, I really am more in fear than faith. I guess a lot of question comes up of like, is finding that alignment. And I guess the answer that's coming up is like, it always comes back to self-love. Is like, I need a reminder, oh yeah, that's right. Like, I really do believe those things. So why am I in fear right now? That's what was like hitting, is like, I do believe it. And when I'm talking to someone else and they're where I am right now, I'm like, oh babe, this is so good.
Okay, so you keep saying that like not in alignment, which we're talking about a different thing right now. But
Right.
when you say not in alignment, something Nick said, I don't think I'll ever be able to let go of is you are the perfect person to coach who you used to be.
Yeah.
So, and not just that, but while we're coaching other people on who we used to be, and as we move through that, we're going to have to experience more to become better, to level ourselves up, to level our clients up, et cetera, which is what you're going through right now.
Which I know this, like, I know that 100%. I know I had to, because I went too far into ego, too far into, so that's why I feel vulnerable sharing on not having 30 to 50K months, is because I can help you build your business. I can help you do this. And look at me, look at all the things I have. Look at all the blah, blah, blah. Oh, I'll fly first class. Oh, I this, oh, I that. And so then
But
I
you're not currently
fell too
doing it.
far into materialism is how I felt. And that was integrity for me, because look at how I'm living, exactly how I tell you to live. And then it was like, also you lost your way, because then I started paying for everything. So that, because I felt that was my worth. Like, people don't love me. So then I meet someone who's fucking broke, and then I pour everything into them. And then the motherfuckers come back for more. Oh, by the way, yeah, I know you did that, but like, also, can you pay me for this?
Where do you think the statement, give an inch, take a mile comes from? Where we start to set boundaries.
Oh,
I give you an inch, you
I
only
mean,
get that inch.
100%, like that, I mean, that we've already talked about the people pleasing, and I give anybody an inch and they tend to want to take more. They want 87 miles. And that, I mean, that was a lesson I know I had to learn. And because I wasn't listening quietly, it became fucking loud, to the point where here we are with someone that like bought property beside me. Right? Because I didn't just say no. Literally, no, I don't want that. So yeah. And then just right now, like the thoughts of a person that is coming to me again the other day when my car got stolen for money, after we've done this how many times, and then they just ghost me out of nowhere. I'm still not being honest with the person. I'm still like, oh, my car got stolen, da da da. Instead of like, dude, you just fucking ghosted me for 4 months, and now you're coming back asking for money. Are you serious? No, I'm playing the victim card. Like, I can't. I don't have enough money. Instead of like owning, fuck you. No.
Stop
Which
contacting
means
me.
that that's what I need to do, which feels really fucking uncomfortable, but that's how I feel right now. I don't think this person should be coming at me for money, especially I've got like the whole long list, and this is what I do every time. I get all this evidence. This happened with a partnership where I put in $80,000 into their home, and then they just fucking took everything and wanted more. And I pay people to fuck off and leave me alone.
I've done that a few times.
And then that's the common because I don't just want to say no.
Okay, so you just said that. You haven't told me that in any of our conversations up till this date that this person has come back.
Literally Sunday, and then I didn't answer them until yesterday. And I did take like, hey, listen, like I'm not good financially, and then my car just got stolen. So like I'm not ready to have this conversation. But I
So
already know the outcome. I've already shared
what's
the evidence of how much money I've spent on this person, which is less.
so what's coming up for me, and it's interesting because it's always you and someone else, or like me and you. So my girlfriend wants to go buy her house. She doesn't qualify for much, but if she got her payout from her ex, she wouldn't need anyone's help. But that means she needs to actually end it with him, end communication, ask for her money, and then it's over. She's not willing to do that. That's too hard. I actually got the email from her yesterday. She's sending it to him. So I think one of the steps, now I'm not telling you what to do, but what I'm seeing and hearing is that one of the steps you need to do is end that where it is. Don't contact me again. I'm done. I'm not giving you the money. It seems to me that maybe the car came like, and again, I don't know anything, but maybe the car was stolen so that the situation comes up and you have to say no. And maybe your people pleasing would have said, okay, I'll come up with something. No,
Which is where I keep going. Like I should.
no, absolutely fucking not. Here is my end. Here is my no. Please never contact me again. I'm going to block you. Block everything. If they want to take steps, let them take the next steps. You can deal with the next steps. There's really nothing they can do next steps regardless. And see how uncomfortable it makes you to have to tell them no. So
Because I don't
yes.
owe them the money. That's the
So
piece is like
first
legally.
first step is, and right now all you're doing is justifying your reasoning because it's the people
Right.
pleasing. So you don't need to do any
No,
of that.
I hear you. I
My
hear that.
inside, my answer says no. I need to put an end to this. That's going to perpetuate into the next one. The other thing where you said to me about not being in alignment with like teaching these people, I think you needed to be taken back
For sure.
to where you started to be able to truly show them, watch me, join this journey with me. I'm going to show you how I do it because I'm here again. I've been there and I can get back there because I've already done it once, but now I'm going to do it with you. So jump on board. And maybe being that honest with those people as well needs to happen. How uncomfortable does that make you feel?
I mean, I'm pretty honest. You remember the consumerism fucking
Yep.
talk, and it was like there's three of you. There's the personal you, there's the public you, and then there's like the business you.
Not me.
I was gonna say you could disagree, but I feel like I'm very like to know me personally, to know me in public, and to know me in my business, it's the same person.
I think seeing you in those roles are the same person. I know for me, I'm the same person in all of the roles. Who you see on social media is who I am.
Yeah.
Who you see in my business and my professionalism is who I am.
Yeah.
So I do see you act the same in all roles. But that being said, we don't even often talk about my money because that is something I'm uncomfortable telling people how much money I make or how much I plan to make or any of the things. And it just kind of came to me, is that something that you've been honest with, saying like, hey, I'm going to rebuild too. I've changed and started this new business. This new business doesn't have money. This new business isn't making me anything. So I'm starting with you. Join me on this journey. Let's do it together. Because my coach keeps coming to me and saying, one of the things he said to me is, Merity, all of your shit. Oh, Ruti's watching. Hi, Ruti. One of the things my coach keeps saying is, Merity, you're too happy for addicts. And I was like, the fuck? He's like, think about it. You're not meeting them at their level. You need to come at them with compassion, not look where I am. And I was like, I don't feel like I'm like showing off. He's like, that's not what I'm saying. He said, you're showing them the end result and they think they're so far from that they're not necessarily coming on with you. So with me, with my reels and stuff and my content that I'm feeding, one of the things he wants me to do He wants me to come at them and be like, hey, I've been where you've been. Here's my fucking story. No, maybe I haven't been addicted to alcohol, but I've been fucking addicted. And my passion is to help you get out of that. Let me show you the way to a better life. So in that, telling your people, this business that I just purchased from this guy, there's been a lot of complaints. It's not making any money, but I'm going to build it. So why don't you join me on this journey? Which is then going to pull all these fucking people in that want to do it with you, because you're starting where they're starting. You're not starting at $50,000 saying, join me on this.
Right.
You're not making millions of dollars and telling them, hey, let me teach you. You're literally sitting there going, hey, I'm where you are. Let's do this together.
Yeah.
Because I have all the skills and tools. I've done it before and I'm going to do it again. Right.
That does feel really, I'm really glad that I was open to do this, because that hits a lot more than like, this is my karma. I'm fucking you over or whatever fucking bullshit story.
Or that your karma is you not fucking forgiving yourself for what you've done.
Yeah.
That's in your past. You're not that fucking person. We can't keep going back to that person because that's not who you are. That's not who you show up as. Who are you now? So for me, another way this is also coming up is with the guy that I was seeing whatever, the guy. Okay, we're just going to call him the guy. This comes up. Who I was 15 years ago is the only person he knew. And him seeing me now, he's like, holy shit, you're such a different person. Like, I loved you then, but wow, Mary. You aren't the person. You aren't the person that we were when we were in high school. I mean, you still are in a lot of the ways that I appreciate, like the fact that somebody wants to fuck with me and I got my sister. I know she's there, and she's maybe not going to beat them up this time, but I don't need her to beat them up this time. I just need her to have my back. Stop beating yourself up for who you were and start praising yourself for who you have become. And none of us seem to do enough of that either. My coach posted a thing saying, I'm obsessed with myself. I immediately had the same reaction everyone else did, which was, you conceited bitch. And then went, oh my God, I want to be obsessed with myself. Now I'm kind of obsessed with myself. I'm kind of awesome. I'm going to be better. And I'm going to do all the things I need to do to love me. Because loving me is changing my fucking life. So I think that's a really great place to stop.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you being so open and vulnerable today.
Thank
because
you.
I know how hard it is. You should be very proud of yourself for feeling all the feelings today.
My body feels just like open. My whole body's tingling, and I just feel like I had a breakthrough.
Yay! So, no more stuck, no more stuck, no more stuck.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yay. Okay, well, thank you guys for joining us. I see there was a consistent number of people watching today.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
So thank you guys. We appreciate you. And join us next week.
Thank you for joining us on this spirited journey today.
We hope you enjoyed diving into the world of self-improvement with us. Two sisters who found their own unique paths.
Remember, life is a tapestry of experiences, and it's how we embrace them that makes all the difference.
So whether you're on your yoga mat, exploring mindfulness, or simply navigating life's twists and turns, always keep that spirit and sass alive.
We are Colynn and Mary Lockoff, and we're here to remind you that happiness and abundance are within reach.
Stay connected with us on social media and keep those questions and stories coming. We love hearing from you.
Until next time, beautiful souls, keep doing the work, keep sharing your experiences, and keep living a life that's authentically you.
And never forget to add a little extra sass to your day.
Spirit and sass, always.